You're in love with me. I'm hooked on a feeling.
Yes, here at G1 Toys, we are hooked on a feeling that you will love the new Groot Build-A-Figure from Marvel Legends Infinite Series. Starting with the figures that are required to build him from left to right, you have Gamora, who is on the far left with Groot's left leg. Behind her, you do have Iron Man in his new Extended Mission Space Armor Mark III suit, hopefully in an upcoming movie. Can't wait for that one, guys. He will supply Groot's right leg. Then you have Star-Lord right in the middle there with his left arm, Drax next to him with his lower torso, Nova on the far right, hopefully in an upcoming movie as well, with his right arm, and then, last but not least, you have the famous Rocket Raccoon, who comes with the upper torso and head of Groot. Now, you have the option to own the comic book version of Groot, but I am not a fan of that figure as much. When I think of a tree hero, I like to picture a figure that portrays an actual tree-like appearance, which this one doesn't quite capture entirely. Maybe if it wasn't for his manly shape underneath the blue suit, it would be more believable. So on to the newer movie version. Let's take a look at Groot's roots and a quick yet informative origin story. From the species Floral Colossus, Groot made his debut in the comic book Tales to Astonish number 13. Groot is an extraterrestrial who traveled to Earth to experiment on humans initially, until a human named Leslie Evans foiled his plans by using termites against him. He fled into space only to return many years later. S.H.I.E.L.D. managed to capture him and make him a member of Nick Fury's Howling Commandos. After his shindig with the Commandos, he had a change of heart to choose the right and appeared in the Annihilation Conquest. And ultimately, he joined up with Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, as a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. His special attributes include wood absorption for strength enhancement, regeneration purposes, and resistance to fire. He also possesses a very high level of genius mentality. Groot is a bit pricey if you get him solo or with the Guardians toy line. Solo, he has gone for anywhere between $50 or $75, and each figure to build him is roughly around $20 a piece in retail stores. So if you want the whole team, ouch, that smart's in the pocketbook. Okay, folks, what we're going to do next is we're going to measure the impressive height of Groot. Let's see, right next to that, he looks like he measures in at about 9 inches. So pretty impressive height there. He is pretty much just towering over the other figures. Let's go ahead and jump right on into his articulation and sculpt. Starting with his head. His head was done so well. I really, really like the head sculpt. Looks pretty similar to the movie, and I really dig that. Love that green mossy feel they got going on a tree-like figure. I love it. The eyes look really, really good. The paint around the eyes look awesome. I like that little bleed from the black down into the brown there. Looks very, very cool. The top of his head is sculpted very awesomely as well. I can't complain there. Gotta love it. He does have 360 rotation. He cannot look down. The type of ball joint they use actually hinders that downward motion. So they could have done that a little differently. He would have had better articulation looking downward at the people below him since he is so massive. He can look up quite a bit, so that's pretty good. He does have a little bit of side-to-side rotation as well. So you can get some pretty unique and neat poses out of Groot. Let's go ahead and move on down into his upper torso area where that moss just continues on into a flurry of just sweetness right there, and then into his arm a little too. I really like that they add that element to this figure. I mean, it just gives you more of that woodlands sensation, and I like it. So his arms do move up and down. They do rotate 360 all the way around. He's got some pretty neat sculpt right here on his arm. This is flexible, so it doesn't hinder any movement. He does have the upper bicep swivel. He has a double jointed elbow. Love it. And he has got the articulating wrists that go 360. They are on a hinge as well, so they go up and down with both arms. Gotta love that. He's got kind of a closed hand over here. This hand they've done as an open hand with the same hinge joint there and swivel. Gotta love it. His midsection is detailed pretty nicely as well. He does swivel a little bit in the upper midsection, and he does ab crunch a little and ab crunch backwards as well. So can't complain. Those are two great things they've added with his articulation there. His legs, however, when we get down into that articulation, I have a little gripe. They've done what's called a Y joint instead of a T joint on this one. And what that does is that does not make the leg come straight out. It comes out kind of at an angle, which I'm not too fond of. What you can do is you can twist this knee and bend it so that it looks right, but it is kind of a pain to work with. Don't really care for that type of joint when they use that for their articulation. But the knees, of course, the legs do come out pretty far. The knees bend quite far as well, so that's pretty cool. The only other articulation you're getting out of Groot is a really good one. It actually is some foot articulation up and down, and this is amazing. Look how far that rocker goes on his ankle pivot. You gotta love that too. That is like he's a contortionist or something. That's just really cool. You can get some good, deep, low poses out of Groot. So all in all, you know, this figure is quite amazing. He is impressive, maybe a little bit flimsy to work with. I noticed a few times I was having to force a few things to get him to pose, but not bad for the most part. And here is Groot walking like an Egyptian, because it's time to do his grading breakdown, starting with his appearance. Let's go ahead and give Groot a solid 8 on appearance. I think he's going to be happy with that, folks. Straight on into articulation. I think they did a really good job here with Groot on his movement and capability. I think it's enough to give anyone would. So let's go ahead and give him an 8 in articulation. On to the topic of durability. You know, I got this Groot figure and I really wanted to get him posed and I wanted to bend him and I wanted to move him around a little bit. So I did just that. And in doing so, I noticed that in his knee, it would not bend. It acted like it was gonna break on me. So I was really scared to even try to get a deep bend out of his left leg there. So in durability, because of that left leg and because of the overall feel of the figure as you try to bend him and articulate him, I'm gonna give him a 7 in durability because I'm just not so sure he won't just snap one of these times, just like a twig. And for Groot's collectability, he is a Marvel Legends exclusive Build-A-Figure from the Guardians of the Galaxy line. So right away for that, he gets a 6. And then if you throw in my 2 cents, he gets an 8 on collectability. You are going to soil your underalls when you hear Groot's overall score of 7.75. We all have so much to learn from his 3 words. I am Groot. Not quite the modern day Yoda, but his intellect far surpasses most run-of-the-mill superheroes. This guy should have led the Guardians team, not Star-Lord. Today's lesson reminds us to never give up, even if you're stumped. Thanks for watching, and click subscribe if you like our reviews. Also, follow us on Instagram. Remember, when life gives you lemons and makes you annoyed, never forget to channel your inner toy.
I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot.
Lips as sweet as candy. Its taste is